Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the time-travelling toy collector, and this is the Takara Tomy Hasbro War for Cybertron Siege Edition deluxe class figure 6-gun, the Autobot 6-gun. And 6-gun, as those of you who've seen my Generation 1 Metroplex video will be aware, 6-gun rather, is one of his component parts. And frankly, he was comprised of, unsurprisingly, 6 guns, which is where he rather cannily gets his name from. Now, in the G1 line, 6-gun manages to, in essence, break apart and be various weapons for Metroplex. He also forms some tower elements within Metroplex in his city mode. And it's great, but the G1 version of 6-gun was pretty plasticky, pretty nonsensical, actually looked terrible. And if you've seen my Metroplex video, you've seen him. You've also will have seen him get the Toy Hacks decals treatment, which is what I'll also show you in a second when I put him alongside this figure once we get him out of the box. And even then, you'll just see that the comparison just is ridiculous. So anyway, here we have, we can see him through that gigantic plastic window. We have 6-gun in his robot mode, and again, one of the other reasons I want to show you them together is so I can show you how this figure really is an homage to the original 6-gun, which is great. In so many ways they didn't need to do. But let's do a quick look at the packaging. Here we can see 6-gun in action, in full robot mode, with all of his guns and other weaponry clearly demonstrated there. Really lovely artwork, as we would expect from Transformer packaging in the current era. Autobot 6-gun, Siege, the War for Cybertron artwork we have down the side here, which shows us the arc blasting into the universe. And here's the obligatory product shots on the reverse. Autobot 6-gun, there he is breaking apart. So he's a modular weaponizer type machine. It looks here like he converts into sort of like an air drone, where he can sort of mount air-based assaults and attacks on Decepticon enemies. And here we can see him being a weaponizer, where he breaks down to modular components and attaches to Ironhide in this particular image. And here are some of those component parts or weapons that we have just been talking about. Now, that's not too dissimilar to the original gimmick that 6-gun had, as I mentioned. So let's get in. Let's not waste time. Let's get him out. Now, as you'll be aware, apologies for the interruption to the visible sights, there's not really anything in the packaging that's too exciting. It's very, well, hate to use the word, but very basic packaging. But here is the gent of the... I'll just put this stand here so we can have him slightly more in shot and a better shot to boot. Let's just adjust him so that we can actually have him if he wants to stand up, which I'm sure he will do once we get him all nicely square there. No, he's going to be he's actually standing up just about as well as his G1 counterpart would stand up, dare I say, but he is carrying some weaponry on the back, so that might be having a bit of an impact. Let's see if we can convince him to stand up and face us. Let's try that. So let's zoom in a bit as well so we can get a bit of a shot before I pick him up and get him in hand. But yeah, so within the box you just get sort of the inlay card, a plastic holder, and as you would expect, instructions which detail how you pull him apart, basically, which consists of pull him apart and stick him onto other Autobots as needed. I'm personally very excited because I, as you know, probably have the Generations Metroplex, having spent a long time trying to get hold of him. So I'm now looking very much forwards to being able to use 6-gun and finding some sort of either a hidden tower mode, or indeed in some of his weaponized component parts, to actually work with Generations Metroplex and give me the best possible play features we can with that. So I've done a bit of a pan up and down so you can see him in all of his Autobot glory. Now I'm going to bring him much closer to shot. So let's first of all take a look at his head, and we can see there a nice blue, very nice blue visor, metallically painted. He's got weapon systems built into his chest, an Autobot symbol there, on what also looks a bit like a canopy, which is not dissimilar to his Generation 1 counterpart, but it certainly wasn't a canopy in those days. The guns are available at the back of his hands, and what this figure has, which is really nice, is elbows, which means that his elbow joints keep him separate from his attached guns there, which of course was not a feature of the G1 version. We also have the red guns on the back and his legs here, which are do come with articulation. There's knee articulation there, apologies for the blur, knee articulation there. There's also some rotation there, and sideways and forwards and back rotation there. Let me stand him here for a second and you'll see why momentarily. So all in all, it's, as figures go, he does rather have, he is possessed of all of the sort of articulation you would hope for a current figure. Here comes our old friend 6-gun Generation 1. Now he's a mite taller, but he, again, imagine him without any of these stickers and you've just got chunks of plastic that are held together, which is pretty much what 6-gun was. These are all Toy Hacks labels that have been applied. Some have started to come off due to changes in temperature and etc, etc. But here you can see his arms are just guns. Toy Hacks do provide some stickers here which give the impression of fists so that you can hold other guns. But ultimately, so this is the canopy area that we have on the new iteration. But yeah, he was essentially some tower pieces and guns put together. There you see his red legs, which are just in fact, if I spin him around, just in fact the big red cannons from Metroplex, just as these are, and everything's hollow around the back here. It's just an embarrassment of a figure, but hey, in the 80s this gave us an awful lot of fun to imagine, play with and smash around a bit, and again with the Toy Hacks decals he does look really good with Generation 1 Metroplex. I'll just try and put them side by side as best I can, but so you can see the figures share so many characteristics, but equally they also mercifully don't, in so much as this new iteration is far superior, far superior. And I for one am thrilled and delighted that we've been given this, and even more thrilled and excited that we also have the War for Cybertron Kingdom Slammer, who was Metroplex's other companion along with Scamper. Scamper came with Generations Metroplex, these two didn't. Does it mean we'll be getting a War for Cybertron or Legacy Metroplex? Don't know. I think there are rumours abounding that there will be a Titan Metroplex, but it may not be a Citybot, which is a shame, because I think a Titan Metroplex from the new aesthetic would be really interesting to see what they do with it. However, Hasbro do confirm that both 6-gun and Slammer are compatible with the Generations Metroplex, and he's a whole lot of bot anyway, so I'm quite content with that news flash. So this is pretty much what you get with 6-gun. I'm now going to pause to transform him into his sort of aerial drone mode, and then we'll come back to wrap this up. But already I can tell you I'm super excited. In the meantime, whilst I'm transforming him, please do hit that like button, and similarly you might want to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future Transformers or whatever video that may well be coming up in the future that could well be of significant interest to you. So with that being said, Six Gun, transform. Hey there, here he is, all transformed up and in his, well, attack drone mode. And you know what, I must confess, I had this same very same experience and sensation when I was looking at other modulators in the past. It put me off. I won't lie, I really thought, no, I don't like the idea of this. I don't like the idea of having to take them apart, put them back together again. I'm gonna drop bits, lose bits, they're gonna go all over the shop. Actually, this was remarkably easy and a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. And so anyway, let's have a quick look at what we have. This is, of course, one of his various forms. Six Gun becomes this sort of aerial drone assault vehicle. There's thrust there to help him swoop in to attack. It reminds me a little bit of an old Action Force G.I. Joe Cobra terrorist toy thing called the Claw, which I think was the covert light aerial weapon. I think it was, which was like a white set of wings that figures flew in under the radar on, figuratively and literally, and it just reminds me a bit of that. But by the same token, it doesn't look anything like it. But I love the detailing. I love the panel work. Let's get a bit closer so you can see some of the detailing. We've got what appears to be, or I certainly read as, fans here that keep it up top. We've got a range of attack options. We've got these guns at the front here. We've got these 4 guns here, which are slightly out of alignment. Apologies. We've got rear-facing guns. We've got these rather lovely thrusters here built into the wing section there. So all in all, I mean, again, it's very simplistic. I wonder if that's partly how the tower looks. I wonder. We've got the shiny canopy there. We've got the Autobot Insignia. It's marvellous. And, you know, it's, as I say, it's very simplistic. It's a very basic form. But it works. And it gives us some additional playability with what would otherwise be quite a static figure. And again, he weaponizes. So, in essence, that means you can take his various parts, well, apart, and apply them to other figures in the ranges with which he is compatible. And the same can be said of Scamper, sorry, not Scamper, but of Slammer too, who's in the Kingdom element of the War for Cybertron range. So what can I say about this? It's a fun character piece, really, that complements, I hope to say, it complements the Generations Metroplex. Is it a clue, along with Slammer, that we're going to get a legacy Metroplex in the future? I hope so, but equally, if it is, I hope it's a Citybot, not something else, because I know that there is a couple of other historical Metroplexes, and the legacy line, as we've seen, is looking to merge various pre War for Cybertron Transformer universes, if you like. So I suspect there's a risk, if it is a risk, that we may get a Metroplex that isn't a Citybot, which I may or may not succumb to, depending on how fabulous it is. Anyway, this is Six Gun in his aerial drone battle platform assault mode, for want of a better phrase. I really like it. I think it's cool. Does it belong in your collection? Well, if you've got Generations Metroplex, you're going to want this and Slammer to accompany Scamper. There's too many S's in all of this. To accompany Scamper, who came with Generations Metroplex. And I think we'll have fun trying to convert him into a tower mode to complement Metroplex. But if you're not sure, I hope that being able to have an up close and personal look at him through this video will have given you the chance to decide whether or not this is something that you want in your Transformers collection. I really like it. It's you know, it's not, It's not the most spectacular of figures, but the engineering is really interesting and really quite far more engaging and smarter, I think, than perhaps I expected it to be. So I'm going to have fun, far more fun than I thought I would have playing with him and well, essentially putting him back together again. So all it remains for me to do is to say thank you very much for your company for the last 10 or so minutes. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector. You have been a most wondrous audience. This has been the War for Cybertron Siege 6-gun. I will add, as ever, some photos to the end of the video, so you can have a look at him in action, as it were. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Take care, bye for now, and 6-gun, it's time to roll out.